and gentlemen, we believe that the state always has a responsibility to compensate my right as a victim and to bring justice to criminals as well as the society. We believe by allowing the families to pardon murderers isn't in line with what the government has always been fighting for and should be upholding. And we have two reasons that will come out from my speech why we believe this is so. Firstly, in my first point, which is how it tips the balance of justice, and secondly, I'm going to be explaining to the House how it's going to protect the victor's justice. But before that, a few rebuttals. Ladies and gentlemen, we believe that not only the Prime Minister has been telling lies towards the House for today, but also has been contradicting herself. Why? First, she said that jury is not directly affected. Two responses to this, right? First, we tell you, isn't that a good thing? Because the law should always be fair, and should always be neutral, and should be equal. But secondly, we already questioned her, are you against the whole jury system or the whole court of justice as a whole? She said yes, and then suddenly when we explained to her again on how that's really dangerous, she said no, the family shouldn't have a whole say, but only majority. We believe that this is an inconsistent stance coming from the government, which is totally harmful. But we don't know what their stance, but anyway, I'm just going to rebut both anyway, right? Firstly, right, on how she says that she's against the whole jury system. We say that this is absolutely dangerous because we believe that these victims, they don't really have the right rational calculus to make a rational decision because they're very intertwined with their own emotions. Your father just died. How do you expect me to think correctly for the next 6 months? No, thank you, Sharif. But the contradiction that she made based on that is that she says that the family should have the majority say. We say that that's status quo because in the contemporary times, you can already see that we include families inside crime cases. How we allow them to become the witnesses, we allow them to become the defendant, and we allow them to explain the situation, but not let them have the last say. We do not let them say who is guilty and who is not. And there are a few harms on that, which is our point. But before moving any further, beautiful Sharif,
what's wrong with the rational calculus of the family if it doesn't harm them choosing whether or not the victim is?
Sit down. Mrs. Speaker, we believe, we tell you that it's human nature for you to feel at least sad or for you not to really have the mental calculus when someone died. But secondly, we believe that you can never expect a person or especially a victim to have the right mental state of mind where else they do not know the rules or the books behind law itself. We believe that law is a big process that takes years to develop, to training, and the family, I'm so sorry, but they don't really have that kind of ability. So now, moving on to our first point, which is tipping the balance of justice. Ladies and gentlemen, in status quo, we believe that only the UNO and only the state can compensate or can pardon a certain murder or a certain case. And we believe that that's okay. We're going to stick with status quo because we believe that there's a difference between the state pardoning a murder and also the family. What is it, right? We believe that the court of justice and the government works in such a way that it is a neutral body. It divorces itself with the emotion. They punish the criminals proportionately. They compensate the victims, and they always protect the rights of the society. We believe that the law has always been working on how there's a check and balance system, on how it takes years for you to even sentence a guy of murder, of rape, of burning a child. We believe that the state takes years and years and years. Therefore, even if once a jury has already found that person is guilty, the person can always reappeal to the higher court of justice. There's lots and lots of check and balance in the system. So if that is so, right, we believe that the court system today is already proportionate enough. But the thing is, ladies and gentlemen, we believe that it tips the balance when you let the victims come in and have the large judgment. Two reasons. First, we don't recognize them to make an informed choice. Like I've already said earlier on how we believe that they can actually make choices which are too extreme to one end or too lenient because they're so sad. But the second reason is this, right? I've already explained to you on how they don't understand the rules, and we should always let the person who has already been living with the books all their lives. But the second idea coming from side opposition is this, on how we want to protect the victor's justice. Ladies and gentlemen, we believe that we have to always compensate the victim. But if you kill someone, if you do a murder case, you don't only directly affect one person, but you also affect the whole society, the whole neighborhood. It's not only an offense to one person or one family, it's also an offense to humankind. How? We believe that in this sense, you've already said to the world that I don't respect your right to live, therefore I kill you, and they can always do it to other people. We believe that the society as well will be harshly affected. How? Fear will be inflicted in their lives, especially in a neighborhood full of children. They're going to be traumatized. Just imagine if the murder case happened in school. We believe that then children would not want to go to school because they're so scared that this might happen again. We believe that these are the kind of pain and fear that we're going to inflict in the society, and this is what we want to stop. We believe that if we still put it on the loose, people are going to be scared, people are going to be traumatized, people are going to be fearful of the people, and people are going to start questioning the jury system and how fair they are in the first place. And we believe that even if, right, we let the family pardon and we let the family have the last say, they won't really mind if we actually punish them anyway, because it is proportional and we need to rehabilitate this person in the first place. It will later be explained by my second speaker. What has side opposition essentially explained to the House? We're going to explain to you on how the Court of Justice works in such a way on how we're equal, we're balanced, and we divorce ourselves from the emotion. I've already explained to you on how there's a difference between letting the state and the Agong make a decision and letting the families who are very well affected by this case. I've already explained to you on how when you murder someone, you don't only murder or you don't only offend a person, but you offend the whole mankind. We have to protect the society. We care for the fear, we care for the traumatization that's going to happen to the society. So if you, ladies and gentlemen, if you care for the society, you go with side opposition. Thank you.